talking to head men's coach Mark Engel. And Coach, the golf season is about to begin here, and you're in a very familiar place, having defended the Horizon League Championship. So just talk about the team and going into the season.
It's exactly where we want to be as the defending champion. I mean, somebody has to win, so it always might as well be us. We like that. And I think there's certain expectations, just like the Yankees being the evil empire or the Red Wings always having the target on their back as a Stanley Cup contender. People know we have a good team. And this year it'll be a little different because Dave Byrne has graduated along with a couple other seniors. Bernie was Player of the Year in the Horizon League last year. We always could count on a good round for him. But I think as you look at this spring and what we saw in the fall is that there's a lot of depth on the team, and maybe 1 through 5 we're stronger, and there's 5 guys capable of putting up good scores every time. So we're excited going into the spring, and we think it's going to be a good spring for us.
Coach, talk about some of your players on your team, especially your 2 returning seniors who you're probably going to count heavy on to lead this team.
You're right. Jeff and Britt really showed a lot. Jeff Claridge and Britt Promptly were both all-tournament last year, and that's a good indicator of your strength when guys down in the lineup behind Dave, for example, can carry you so well. And I think they're going to do a real good job. They grew comfortable in playing 1 and 2 in the lineup in the fall, and they're really good golfers. I mean, when you look at what they did last summer, for example, both of them came in the top 25 or top 30 at the Canadian Amateur Championship, and that's the best golfers in their country, and they did a great job. So I look for really good things for both of them. And then after that, Simon Ryers, a sophomore, really got his feet wet last year and really did a good job in the fall as he's continued to mature as a college golfer. And Mark Hicks is a junior now and really showed what he could do when he played at Georgetown and was our best player there. So you add those guys to our freshmen. Brendan Leonard is in the lineup. Kyle Benford has played a lot. And all of a sudden, I think it's what I was talking about. You do have depth, and a good reason, 1 through 5, why it's going to be hard for us to not put up a good score every time if the guys play to their potential.
Coach, talk about is there any pressure for defending the Horizon League Championship? I mean, once again, Britt and Jeff have been in that position before, and you've been in that position before, but how do you think the other members of the team feel about that?
I think there is a little pressure, and a lot of it is what we put on ourselves, as the old cliche goes, because we want to do well, and we expect to do well, and we have to play to our potential. But what's neat about the guys is that every one of them has come here, have played, the 6 Canadians on the team, for example, played in big tournaments. They've all played in the Canadian Amateur. They've all played in the Canadian Junior. They've played in national championships before and have a pretty good handle on what they've done. Sheldon Keat, our only American, has played in big tournaments over here, and they've all played in good college events. So I think that, unlike certain sports where you really have to mesh with your teammates to know how to run the offense, or you have to gain 40 pounds to go on your frame to be a good rebounder, golfers are golfers. And I think we've got good, experienced amateur golfers who are really good college golfers too, and they'll do a good job this spring.
Coach, open up the season in Florida. I mean, how important is that spring break weekend down there and really getting back into the grind of playing golf after not really being able to go outside in the last couple of months?
The guys have done a good job to get ready, first of all, and that's important too. They've hit a lot of balls at the driving ranges under heated tees and downstairs into the nets. They've rolled a ton of putts, and I think they'll get off the plane ready to go. It's like the Tigers being down south right now for spring training. Those first few days we're in Florida will be just strictly practice. We'll practice in the morning and play around in the afternoon. And I don't want to say that the tournament is secondary because you always want to do good in competition, but it's going to be the culmination of a week just like the Tigers down south. They have pitchers practicing just throwing the ball around and outfielders taking batting practice before they play games. We're in that same mode right now, and the good news is everybody's excited about it. They had that little break over the winter and Christmas break and such to recharge the batteries after a long season of golf. And when they get back, they're raring to go. And right now you can tell they've been checking the weather forecast for Port St. Lucie every day, and they know the rain's going to be gone before we get there, and they're pretty excited about it right now.
Coach, talk about the Horizon League and some of the other competition that's out there. Obviously, Detroit finished 6 strokes ahead of Green Bay last year for the championship, but just talk about the Horizon League and how it's improved in the sport of golf.
The teams are a lot more plentiful in terms of challengers than it might have been 1 or 2 schools every year. Green Bay has a lot of good people, which is amazing considering the fact that they've got snow a lot longer than we do, and they still get ready every spring. Wright State is a young team and has gotten better. Cleveland has been our biggest rival over the last 5 or 6 years, probably, when you look at that. Loyola has had a very good year. So I think just like the basketball league from top to bottom, there's a lot of good coaches, a lot of good talent. And the Horizon League may not get the credit that the Big Ten or the MAC does in our region, but there's a lot more good teams than there used to be. That said, I wouldn't trade with anybody. I like the way the Titans are, and I like our chances this year too.
Coach, what is the best thing about this team? Is the fact that there's so much depth out there? Is it you two seniors who have been through this before? I mean, for the Titans to succeed, what is the best thing about this team?
I think again the depth. We can count on different guys all the time for good scores. And obviously they have to play to their potential, but it's not like one guy at the top of the lineup has to carry the entire team. And you'll see that on teams sometimes. If your horse doesn't shoot par or better every day, you're in trouble. And I like the fact that we do have so many guys who can play well, who have played well, both for us and in amateur competition. And I like their experience. They've been under the gun before. Jeff and Britt, last year, they were still playing for that first ring, that first championship banner, the first T-shirt, everything that went along with it. And I think now they kind of felt like Dave and Brian did last year. They know that this is their last kick at the can. They really want to go out and help the team to a championship. And I think really between the two of them, they're going to carry us a long way.